It is Tuesday today, Gimel Sivan Tufshi Pai Vov. My name is Gershy Schwarcz and I'm your host with the news of the last 24 hours, May 19th, 2026. Let's get right to it. Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click. Ha-yoim shivu v'arbuim yoim shahaim shishu shuviyas v'chamishu yomim lu oimer hoitche b'malchis. We're almost there, my friends, almost there, Matan Torah. And let's start with the news. A man was brutally beaten up in London for speaking Hebrew. President Trump has once again delayed his Iran strike for 2 or 3 days, or 4, or maybe 5. Well, honestly, even his generals are probably just hitting refresh on his account on Truth Social to find out, what's going on, when. Also, on the president's agenda, a planned visit to Monsey on the first day of Schwarcz. Because, of course, the man always manages to show up a minute before the Shkia, Shabbos 2:50. You heard about that already if you've been listening to Edge. And that is why he needs Click 613, because Click 613, the bot, that will give you the information that you need. For the information to find out how to sign up, you can look at the link, and the link is in my description below on YouTube. You can subscribe, and you can like, and you can share it, obviously, this channel, to everyone who wants to hear the news in English. Obviously, we do it in Yiddish on Yiddish24.com and on Kol Mevaser, but for those who don't know and want to have access to YouTube, why not? Just, you can subscribe and share and everything. All right, but for those who don't have access, obviously this is the place you are right now. So in the description below, you will find the information that you need. Now, 5 people were also killed outside the California mosque today after 2 teenagers gunned them down. And an OpenAI defeats Elon Musk in a major court battle. Now, if you know, you know, because you've heard me tell you the news at least twice or maybe 3 times on Edge here so far. So, all that and way more today, but first I want to address something very important to you guys. You know these electronic stores that sell you pro audio mics to make a podcast, or if you want to buy a mixer, if you want to buy cameras, anything electronic, you want to set yourself up with a phone service, you want to buy a phone, tablets, any electronic devices, computers, whatever it is that you need electronically, you call Ring and Go. You know why Ring and Go? It's just like one of your major big superstores that sell these things, but they can get you the best prices. They have access to the best equipment, the best prices, and they deliver it. Next day delivery for free within the tri-state area. 347-480-7455. And especially for my listeners on Edge, we have a special deal for you. You can scan the barcode below, and you can mention the code on Edge. If you mention the code on Edge, you will get a $500 gift card. You will win. You'll enter a giveaway to win a $500 gift card. Now, if you stay tuned, if you stay close, there might be more offers. So I urge you to tune in. And another thing, they have the best prices on the G7X, the Canon G7X, and the SX740. Very good pricing. You will not find anywhere. That's Ring and Go. 347-480-7455. Do not forget to mention on Edge. You'll win. You'll enter to win a giveaway of $500 or a free camera. A 22-year-old Israeli man, an Israeli Jewish boy, is in a hospital after 5 masked men beat him in the streets of London. Why? Because they heard him speak. And what was the language he spoke? Hebrew. The attack happened early Monday morning in Golders Green. Yes, the same place where the stabbing of 2 Yidden happened not too long ago. The victim's name is Shalev Ben Yakar. And he stepped out of his apartment, his father's boy, at dawn to call his family. He was speaking Hebrew on the phone until 5 masked Arabic-speaking men, terrorists, heard him. They walked up to him and asked him, "Are you Jewish?" Didn't wait for an answer. The 5 Jew haters then attacked him on the spot. No questions asked. They dragged him across the road and tore his clothes. They beat him until he almost passed out. The men shouted hateful words, "Allahu Akbar," against the Yidden. In Arabic, "Steist? Freedom fighters, huh?" While they beat him, Then a neighbor finally heard his screams and called the police. By the time the officers arrived, the attackers had already run away. Ben Yakar was taken to hospital where he was treated for his serious cuts and bruises to his face, back and body. The attack joins a growing list of attacks against Eden in Golders Green or in London. King Charles, if you want to avoid visiting Golders Green another time, you should do something to stop this. Anyway, who's King Charles to do anything anyway? Hashem lo yishmeir, shov, shukat shoma, and nothing. It won't help, because Hashem is the one protecting us. You just have to walk with pride, continue doing what you have to do. Do not hide your identity, because you're Jewish. Be proud of it. Obviously, be safe. But again, only Hashem knows why. We have to just daven. Do hashtadless. Daven. Yesterday we reported on a missing 14-year-old girl from Toronto named Esther. Now a caller has called me and asking me Why I didn't say much about this? Well, it just happened, and I didn't know this information. My producers have written this news into my script, obviously, so now I know the story, and I've researched it a little bit to find out what's going on. I've called a few people. She goes by the name of Esti. Her mother's name is for Tehillim, has not been publicly released yet, but the tzibur is asked to daven for her safe return. You can just daven for her to be returned safely. She's been missing since Friday night. She was last seen around 11:30 in Earl Bales Park. Nobody knows exactly why or what. Even the police hasn't yet shared much information. They don't know what she was doing or where she was going. Local Shomrim are working together with police very hard in the search today. They described her as medium slim build, 5'2", standing, obviously, 5'2", the height standing, with brown hair and brown eyes. Now, if you know anything, they're urging the tzibur to check their home security cameras, backyards and sheds, and provide any information that you might help to be able to bring her back home safely. They're asking people to come forward with any information. Now, I'll give you the numbers soon, the information. Early Tuesday morning at 3 o'clock, Chavayrim of Rockland sent a search and rescue team up to Canada. You see how amazing our Yiddish brothers and Schwarcz are. They made the long trip to join the search across the border, and at the request of local Askunim, obviously, Hatzula Shomrim and her family. If you know anything about where Esti might be, please call Toronto Shomrim or 911 or you can call the Toronto Shomrim at 647-557-6735. Again, the number is 647-557-6735. We'll ask you not to bombard the phone for just, curiosity. Please only use this number if you know actual information that will help find Esti and bring her home safely. All right, now let's continue with the news. President Donald J. Trump is now waiting to 2 or 3 days before attacking Iran again. That's because leaders in the Middle East have asked him to wait, as he posted yesterday on Truth Social. As reported yesterday, the list included Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. Their leaders asked the White House to give peace talks a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance, a fifth chance. Is someone going to stop me here? Well, you can't actually stop me, because how do you know? Very unpredictable. Anyway, and Trump said yes. As you know already, Trump prefers to have a deal without, quote, bombing the hell out of them. He has been consistent with this kind of approach and repeated this again last week in an interview with Fox News. But that doesn't mean Trump isn't confident in America's military power. He previously said that he can bomb Iran using just one aeroplane. Behind the scenes, Pakistani Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi spent 3 days in Tehran passing messages, obviously. As you already know, the Pakistanis brought a new offer from Iran to the White House, and the US quickly said no. That's because the offer didn't include any clear promises, nothing about stopping nuclear enrichment, and nothing about handing over nuclear parts. So basically nothing, in other words. In an interview with Fortune, Trump said, yes, that, quote, in his words, the Iranians scream all the time. They're dying to sign a deal. But then they sent papers that have nothing to do with what we agreed on. And I say, are you people crazy? Later, an Iranian news agency claimed that the US agreed to lessen some punishments, but a top American official said that's completely false. By the way, speaking of the Iranian media, on their television, a man has been seen with a rifle, shooting blanks into the air there on television, showing what he wants to show America. They're serious. They're going to fight until their last breath. That's what they do. They're very proud, these terrorists. The U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth reportedly said that Iran will not get anything until they take real steps. He warned Tehran must give up something big, or the U.S. will negotiate using something big, like bombs. Hegseth said Iran will be hit much harder if they do not change their minds. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan hat sich angemischt and said both sides need to give a little bit to avoid a huge war, to compromise. Go back to Turkey, please. Even though Trump said that, quote, there seems to be a very good chance that they can work something out, the U.S. Situation Room will be filled with top national security officers today, and it is already. They will discuss some military choices with Trump during a closed, inside, secret meeting. While many politicians are announcing their thoughts for or against Trump, he shared a post by U.S. talk show host Mark Levin. On Truth Social, the post explains how the president is the only federal official elected by the entirety of the people, and that he was elected to serve as Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Now, speaking of Commander-in-Chief of the U.S., who is the Commander-in-Chief? Hashem. Now, he designed a Commander-in-Chief of your body, the brain. How amazing is that? Chemicals. Now, here it is. The brain releases certain chemicals in your body that commands your body when it's time to stop eating, when it's time to keep your food balance, healthy. So here is the thing. Most of us today, with today's processed foods and everything that we eat today, our Zaydas didn't have that problem, obviously. But we do. And we have to be real about it. What can I tell you? So, speaking of which, kosher skinny shot. Of course, kosher skinny shot. That's what I was trying to say. They are fantastic at this. It's not just the shot that you take. It's more than that. If you call today and sign up, it will change your life. And it's a myth that you think it's only made for people who are obese, who struggle with obesity. It's not true for anyone. If you want to lose a few pounds, you want to be able to maintain, and you struggle with that, call 845-456-8924. And today, especially for my On Edge listeners, my On Edge people here, you can sign up using the code KSSOnEdge, and you can enter a giveaway to win a free month upon subscription. So again, that's 845-456-8924. You will thank me later. Believe me, this is unbelievably safe and backed by science and different evidence that can prove to you that the only side effects is that you will lose weight. That's it. Not just lose weight, it will keep you healthy. It will rebalance the chemistry in your brain to be the right, to basically act as commander-in-chief and not have like different people trying to impeach him to stop him from doing his job. Get it? 845-456-8924. That's the code KSS on Edge, kosher skinny shot on Edge, and you will enter to win a giveaway. A giveaway to win a free month subscription on kosher skinny shot. Okay, my friends, let's continue with the news, shall we? Inside Iran, the government is getting ready for war by handing weapons to regular citizens. They are pushing this so hard that yesterday the country staged a mass wedding where the new couples posed with rifles and machine guns. Reports even showed pink wedding cars armed with weapons. The regime is rushing to build a massive civilian army fight outside enemies. They're trying to build a massive civilian army to fight outside enemies, which they mean the rest of the 70% of Iran who is opposing them, obviously, and shoot their own people if the public rebels again. Nightly gatherings are being held across the country to teach regular people, including women and children, how to take apart rifles and fire real bullets. My question is, are they vetting them to see if they're really for them or against them? Well, time will tell, I guess. Stay on Edge to find out more. Iran's Revolutionary Guard, speaking of, are looking for a new way to threaten the West. Now listen to this. This time, they're going deep underwater. Strait of Hormuz, They want to take full control of the 7 major undersea internet cables passing through the Strait of Hormuz. You have to appreciate the irony here. A regime that constantly unplugs the internet for its own citizens so they cannot protest, now want to control the world's internet. They really want to be the globe's worst IT department. Now, but jokes aside, this is actually a massive threat. The IRGC says this move would let them charge tolls to Western countries and monitor data from tech giants like Google, Amazon, and Microsoft and more. Experts say international law makes this hard to actually enforce. But with Iran, the threat is dangerous. These 7 cables carry a huge chunk of global banking, cloud computing, and daily international communications. If Iran decides to cut the cord, the damage to the world's economy could be, I don't want to say the word, but they use the word catastrophic here. The regime that bans the internet now wants to be the world's IT guy. My friends, we need tefillas, can I tell you? Pakistani people sent fighter jets, 8,000 soldiers, and air defense systems to Saudi Arabia. They've also gone above and beyond by sending a Chinese HQ-9 air defense system, which is operated by Pakistani personnel. We all know how that works, by the way, because easily disabled by the Israelis and Americans, because these HQ-9 air defense systems, I think, were also used by the Iranians. The deployment happened under a defense agreement between the two countries. Security officials and government sources said this happened because of the growing tension and the warfares of the Middle East. Well, you can imagine that. Why do I care what they say? The IDF carried out another targeted strike in Lebanon. They eliminated top Palestinian Islamic Jihad terrorist commander named Wa'il Mahmoud Abd al-Halim. Wa'il Mahmoud Abd al-Halim, many and his friends together. He was the main man in charge of bringing the group's terrorists directly to battles alongside Hezbollah. He was like the transporter. Now, reports say the number of dead people in Lebanon has passed 3,000. These numbers include hundreds of women and children, they say. However, the numbers do not separate innocent people from dead terrorists. Now, seeing that Iran is, well, essentially arming their civilians, well, we all know the same happens amongst those people in Gaza and especially in Lebanon. The math is missing a few. In other words, the math is missing a few terrorists. Now, out at sea, a group of Jewish and Arab Israeli citizens started their own trip to stop Palestinian aid boats. Listen to this. The Israeli citizens called a Hasbara flotilla to show support for Israel. Arab-Israeli leader Yosef Haddad led the trip. He said their goal was simple. They wanted to send a clear message to the ships that they were not welcome. Yes, eventually, as reported yesterday, the IDF stopped the Palestinians. This caused angry protests outside the Greek Foreign Office in Athens. Activists of Palestine's global Sumud flotilla were then transferred to Israeli vessels. Ironically, no humanitarian aid has been found on board of any of those boats, even when they claimed that they were headed to Gaza to help out. What a joke! It's an old one. It's been repeated, so I'm not laughing anymore. Now, down in Gaza, Hamas has named a few military leaders. Okay, they've elected new people. The terror group picked Mohammed Odeh to run its attacks. He is the guy in charge now of the attacks. I guess the next on the list. He replaces the past commanders who were killed in Israeli airstrikes. He's got a life insurance. I don't know what he is, but yeah. Odeh was the head of spying for the terrorists during October 7th massacre. His main job was finding weak spots in Israel's border fences. He was offered this top job before, but Mohammed Sinwar was killed, the brother of Yahya Sinwar. Though he said no back then, he immediately took the job this time. I guess he is basically giving himself the life sentence by himself. American officials told Israelis that that many U.S. refueling aircrafts will stay at Ben Gurion Airport until at least by the end of the year. These planes are using almost all available parking spaces at the airport. Because of this, civilian flights and normal airport operations are facing major issues. Israeli officials received the information through messages from the United States. Speaking of refueling jets, I want to thank one of my honored listeners here, Shlomi Feldman, who called in to talk about the F-35 jets in Israel. Now, I want to explain something. He mentioned the recent news that Israel is planning to add special refueling tanks to their F-35 planes. These are called drop tanks. That's what he clarified to me, and he's right about this. I've looked it up, because where the fuel tanks empty out, the tank simply falls away from the plane. Okay, Shlomi asked a great question about how the plane stays hidden with all that gear. I explained to him that I explained it once here actually, that these jets, they're called stealth because they have a special powder coating that creates the stealth, that creates this barrier, so to speak, to the radar, so it hides the planes. But how do the bombs and how do these fuel tanks, how do they get covered? Well, basically, they stay inside. These bombs hide inside special compartments that stay closed to keep the plane off enemy radar. Adding these external drop tanks will give the Israeli jets much longer range in the air, and they won't have to rely too much on refueling jets. So, Shlomi, thank you for these separate words of chizuk as well, by the way, just saying. And all of you, if you want to leave some chizuk and some words and some criticism, some feedback, comments, feel free. The number is below, 845-671-1775, and you press 5 to leave me a message. Moving to Lebanon, President Joseph Aoun publicly supported peace talks with Israel. He is doing so even as heavy fighting continues across the border. He laid out Lebanon's exact demands for a deal. They want Israel to withdraw. They want a ceasefire. They want the army they want their army deployed on the border. They want displaced people to return home. They also want financial help. And they said any other rumors about the deal are simply false. Well, it's basically one thing. A man from Carlsbad, California. Did I pronounce it right? I never heard of that place, actually. That's what I'm saying. Be honest with you. A man from Carlsbad, California, was charged with a federal hate crime after he attacked a Jewish man near a shul in Los Angeles. Prosecutors said the attack happened during a protest outside an event connected to Israeli real estate events. That's a very similar story to what happened in Manhattan, by the way. The suspect reportedly punched the man in the jaw and later posted messages about the attack on social media. U.S. officials said everyone should be able to live safely without violence because of their religion or because of their opinions. If found guilty, the man could face up to 10 years in prison for hate. 5 people are dead from an attack outside a large mosque in California yesterday. This happened at the Islamic Center of San Diego, which is the largest mosque in the city. Police identified the 2 gunmen as 17-year-old Kane Clark and 18-year-old Caleb Velasquez. Who cares? Anyway, they started shooting outside the building and killed 3 adult Arab men. San Diego Police Chief Scott Weil said that one of the victims was a security guard at the mosque. and he fought the shooters and helped stop more people from being killed. This incident, this included also the elementary children who were going to school inside the building in the mosque. After the attack, the 2 teenagers were found dead inside a car near the scene. Obviously, they ran away and shot themselves. That's what it looks like. That's what the police say. Investigators are treating the attack as a hate crime, obviously. Now, the head of the state's Jewish politicians in San Diego spoke out against this hate. The Jewish Federation of North America said, "This shooting shows why they need more government money for security at such buildings, like shuls, Havdil mosques, and also, obviously, churches." They sent a message of support, adding that no one should ever fear for their safety while gathering to their places to pray. President Donald J. Trump is coming right here to Rockland County this Friday, May 22nd. When is that? The first day of Schwarcz. Thursday night, you will Schwarcz. He is holding a large campaign rally to help Congressman Mike Lawler. This is wonderful news. Lawler is trying to keep his seat in the 17th district, and polls show him only slightly ahead in a close race. An exact location has not been picked yet. However, they are looking at Rockland Community College right in the middle of Muncie. For our community, the timing is perfectly ironic. The last major event, the Shabbos 250, was scheduled just a minute before the Shkia, right? Now, this rally falls exactly on the first day of Schwarcz. Beyond Rockland County, beyond Muncie, President Trump is also endorsing other candidates across the country. A report from Washington Examiner showed how much the power he still has over his elections, over this midterm elections. It noted that several Republicans who opposed his plans lost their races. Trump shared the report on Truth Social app and thanked the reporter for pointing this out. But it is not all good news for the president, according to who? Well, reports from the new polls by the failing New York Times. Now, if you listened to my news yesterday, you'll understand why I'm saying this. The President Trump's overall approval, they say, recently dropped to 37%. They're trying very hard. The newspaper says it's the lowest rating of a second term, blaming it on the ongoing war, obviously. Well, if you heard on Edge yesterday, like I said, here is a suggestion. Just if you believe their narratives that Iran is somehow winning the war, despite looking so weak, then you can decide if you trust their polling too. I will tell you one thing, my personal opinion. If you want to know true polling, Polymarket. Because where people put their money, always follow the dollar bill. That's how it goes in news. You know how I check my facts? I follow the dollar bill. It's the way to check your facts. I get the news all the time. Part of my job is, before coming here, check the facts. I know my producers prepare me the script and all that, but I gotta come here prepared. 3-day Long Island Railroad strike is over. The unions at the MTA reached a new deal. MTA chairman and CEO Jano Lieber said they got it done. He said workers will get their raises without blowing the MTA's budget. Trains will start running again at noon today. Full service is expected to return by 4 p.m. Hundreds of thousands of commuters are very happy. They're still affected by this morning, but in the meantime, they can work from home, drive, or take a free shuttle. The shuttle service to Queens will run 4:30 to 9 a.m. I guess that's already over for you guys, but who cares? Anyway, President Donald J. Trump released a new document called Actions to Terminate Green Energy Regulations. But it is not what it sounds like. He is not fighting against green energy. The document is actually meant to fix problems in the current programs. For example, the Department of Interior had emergency rules that skipped important environmental checks. Trump is fixing that. He's taking it away. He's also getting rid of extra confusing rules, red tape from the Council on Environment Quality. Extra money, extra red tape, and extra delays. That's what he's doing. Basically, the plan cuts out all the complicated rules to improve the green energy programs that are already in place. Obviously, his opposing TDS people will start saying that he's cutting away the entire Green Party. Well, that's why you got to check your facts. I'm a guy that checks facts, and that's why I report what I see. Facts. Like Ben Shapiro likes saying, facts still don't care about your feelings. President, he, by the way, got a lot of hate from all these media, and somebody posted, Elon Musk reposted something about Ben Shapiro, and then somebody posted, why are you giving Ben Shapiro the momentum? Why are you giving him that? That's how far it went. President Donald J. Trump agreed to drop his $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS. You know the story. In exchange, we reported it. In exchange, he will get a formal apology, and the Justice Department will set up a $1.8 billion fund. The money will be used to pay Americans who were unfairly targeted by the government, including the president's friends. Politicians in Washington are strongly complaining about this deal, obviously. Reports say a Treasury Department lawyer even quit his job right after the agreement was signed. House Democrats are calling the whole thing the worst kind of dirty politics. Nothing says we are sorry quite like $1.8 billion taxpayer dollars. Anyway, Taiwan's premier Chao Zhangtai says China is continuing to run military drills near Taiwan, the South China Sea and Japan. He says these actions are a threat to the peace in the region. The threats are growing as China also sent an aircraft carrier group into the Western Pacific for training. Now, this is serious. Meanwhile, Taiwan's president, Lai Ching-te, continues to say Taiwan is its own independent country and wants to hold talks with China as equals. China strongly rejected this idea. China's foreign ministry responded that Taiwan has never been a country and that peace and Taiwanese independence are like fire and water. Nothing says we are belong together quite like parking an aircraft carrier in your neighbor's front yard. Ukraine approved its first homemade guided glide bomb for combat use. They're making new weapons, these guys. They're busy. 4 years in war. The bomb has a 250-kilogram warhead and can hit targets many kilometers away. Ukrainian engineers developed the weapon in only 17 months. Ukraine's Ministry of Defense already ordered an experimental batch of these bombs. The new weapon will help Ukraine rely less on Western precision weapons during the war with Russia. Speaking of technology, a federal jury decided that OpenAI, the company that created ChatGPT, and its CEO Sam Altman won a major lawsuit filed by Elon Musk. Elon Musk claimed that OpenAI secretly changed from a non-profit organization into a business designed to make money. He said this went against the company's original purpose. However, the jury didn't even decide who was right or wrong. Instead, they found that Musk simply waited too long to complain. Because he missed the legal deadline to file the lawsuit, his claims were completely rejected. Lawyers for OpenAI said Musk only sued them to slow them down because he recently started his own competing artificial intelligence company, Grok AI. The ruling is an important victory for OpenAI as the company continues to grow. Well, Elon Musk says he plans to appeal the decision, obviously. The man sending rockets to Mars was just defeated by a desk calendar. My friends, let's thank Protobyte for being here all the time. 347-354-1237. Like he's here, making sure programs are running, software's being designed reliably, obviously. You go into proto-byte.com, check out what they've done and who they've done it for. Ask them questions, see if they are fit for you, because they could be a fit for you. Instead of spending and wasting your time on AI trying to design your own software, spending months and money and not getting anywhere, Protobyte will get you things done like that. 347-354-1237. proto-byte.com. Mention on Edge if you want to get a good deal. Speaking of which, YS Capital Group is that same company who still is reliable at getting you your $1 million or more for your investment. You need to invest in a building. You want to buy a building. Well, the best place to go is YS Capital Group. 718-831-2168. You mention on Edge to lock yourself in. The best rates. Ask them about their no closing costs. No closing costs loans, which is an amazing thing, by the way, just come to think of it. Direct lenders, fast approvals. And Arrive Express, 845-622-1111, 845-254-1111. Arrive Express, the taxi company of Rockland County. They're seriously all over the place. So, there you go. There you have it, my friends. Also, I have some, you know what, feedback for listeners. I didn't want to extend this episode longer than I have to. I'll make a separate episode for that, Miz Shem, and I will post it when it's ready. Okay, have yourselves a wonderful day. We'll see each other.
Your daily report of the news of the last 24 hours, powered by Yiddish24, provided to you by The Click.